If you're searching for a wrestling podcast that's filled with fun.
This is definitely Davey Boy Smith's finest fucking moment.
He goes, he fell on his ass. He fell on his ass.
Couple of haters.
Couple haters.
That's David.
Wrestling nostalgia.
But I will take you back to May 26th, 1996. It was a stormy night. The wind was howling.
Latest pro wrestling news and rumours.
We've heard about the situations between WWE, Sasha Banks and Naomi.
And hilarious tangents.
Let's not tangent off. No Samoan spikes.
That's it.
Fucking tangents.
Then look no further. Join your hosts James, Stu and Jonny and subscribe to Top Turnbuckle.
Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Top Turnbuckle Podcast with me, Stu.
Hello, I'm Jonny Bodacious.
And I'm James. I ignore him. It's in every single podcast I say. I don't even react to it anymore.
I try and tie it in with like the episode, like the topic.
So what was it, Jonny?
Bodacious.
What the fuck is that?
Well, it's like an 80s kind of
Oh,
word.
It's more 90s.
Yeah.
Well,
It's late 80s. Yeah, I suppose it works.
There you go.
I think you're clutching at straws there. But, you know.
Well, so I don't usually listen to him, so I didn't even know what he said. I knew he was going to say something stupid.
Anyway. We've gone off on a tangent already and we haven't even started. Yes, hello, welcome. Hope you've been well. Has everybody been well here?
I think so. How are we all?
I'm alright.
Yes.
I'm alright. James will let us know if he's
when he returns.
alright when he returns.
I don't know if you guys can hear, but the dog is barking.
Oh,
I know
yeah,
he's been in it before, but
Every episode.
I might just leave it in.
It's another cameo appearance.
It's a mascot.
Yeah.
It's the same dog as well.
So hello and welcome.
Well,
Thank you for tuning in. We are Top Turnbuckle Podcast.
We are.
We are bad to the bone. We are most outrageous. We are most tubular.
What?
Tubular.
Tubular.
That's what I said,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Tubular. And we have big kahunas.
What the fuck? does that
1988,
even
hang
mean?
tight.
I got fucked up. These like 80s surf.
There were a load of
skateboarding
80s sayings, yeah.
You've been watching Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
That's fucking awesome.
Brilliant film.
But the reason I had all those 80s sayings was because today's topic is...
Yeah, it's all 80s
It's
related.
my topic, and it's 1988 in professional wrestling.
I've got to be honest, I said to you guys, obviously, before we recorded, so last week I was having an absolute fucking nightmare
Yeah.
trying to get stuff, just anything for my top 3 picks and best and worst and everything else. And I ended up binning the whole lot off. I saw the page out of my notepad because it sucked. And I spent half an hour last night.
The thing is with this year, there's loads of stuff to go on. But I think what's really interesting is I kind of had the idea that some of you guys would go out of the box. I've gone really mainstream. How are you?
I was going to stick mainstream.
I knew Jonny would.
I never do.
Johnny's probably got some sort of...
Johnny's not got a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've probably got something from DDT and fucking 88.
We need to cover that again at some point.
What,
Don't we?
DDT? Some of the wrestling in it's really good.
No, that's not what we're going to look for.
Yeah.
It will come up again.
So, as these are your picks, James, do you want to run us through our other topics for this episode?
The other topics, as usual, we have Danhausen Watch. And we are doing our episodes in 2 halves now.
We are
So,
indeed. Yes.
actually,
indeed.
I could run you through all the topics, but I think Jonny has already sorted out what we're going to do for episode 1. So I'll pass it over to you.
Well, part 1, we are now going to be doing our top 3 topic, followed by your comments and interactions on social media. Following that, we will be doing our watch along, which this episode is...
It is from In Your House 7. and it is the Ultimate Warrior versus Goldust.
Yes.
Let's not even go there until we get there.
We'll wait. Following that, we have a song. Johnny Karaoke. What is it called?
Johnny Oki.
Johnny Oki. And it is a pick from James from the last episode, which is...
It is Flash Funk, sung in the style of Pavarotti.
Yes. And I will admit, I haven't really practiced these.
I think that's the one that you should have, really.
Well, I had a little go in the car, and I
But just bearing in mind the amount of effort you put into Mika and James Blunt.
Yeah, now you're going to...
By far my favouriteest ones ever.
But
the
now
best ones you've done.
You're going to have to try and...
I've got to... I'll pull it out,
You're going to have to try and sort of like do your version of Pavarotti without any practice.
This is a one-take thing.
I'm just a bit concerned about the dogs barking when I get my Pavarotti on.
They bark anyway.
Yeah.
If any dog barks in this, I'm just leaving
To be
it in.
fair, it's not the barking you want to worry about, because if you hit high notes, then those dogs are going to be like spazzing out big time.
Yeah, glass will be smashed. God, it'll all be going on. And following that, we will be having our part 3 of our trivia. Top Turnbuckle Podcast trivia.
Yeah.
Round 3.
Round 3.
Yeah.
That's what we should say, yes.
Shall we give the listeners a quick recap on the scores there?
We can do. So, currently, Stu is
Last.
he has 2 points. James has 8 points. And myself I have 9 points.
I'm really happy that I'm only 1 point
as
behind.
opposed to 15, what you got last, like, what?
I don't know what happened there. Just try to give yourself a few extra points here and there.
A few extra fucking points to like extra 10.
There was no possibility of getting 15 out of those entire questions.
I got confused.
I think the max that you could fucking get was like 12, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Or 15, and you had 15, I think.
No, he didn't. He got...
No, that's what he said he had.
Yeah.
So you had 2, I had like 8, and then he goes, and I've got 15.
Can you just stop reminding me of how shite I did? I know myself.
Oh, you're going to come back in this one.
Yeah, I think you're alright, mate.
No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save it to the last game.
I'll tell you what, anybody else who thinks that they're easy,
they're not. They're
don't go
horrible.
on fucking Google listening to this. Actually do it along with us.
I want proof.
Yeah.
I've had this game since 1996.
Yeah, and he's read all the questions.
I've never read the questions.
That's what's tattooed. Look, you look finally at those tattoos. There's the answers right there. It's like Prison Break, but about wrestling.
My whole body's covered. I'm stripped off right now and I'm writing everywhere.
He's got ECW tattooed on his knob.
Well, I have actually.
Well, a C and a half.
Yeah. I wouldn't even count that much.
Just wanted to give you all a quick recap of our social media pages as well. We are on Instagram, instagram.com/top.turnbuckle.podcast.
Grinder.
Yes, James is on Grindr. Well, sorry, the podcast is on Grindr.
I reckon Johnny is.
I should be. I'll see if I can get some likes and follows.
We are on Twitter at T_Turnbuckle
Probably
Pod.
get a few people following me.
Sorry.
Facebook at /Top Turnbuckle Podcast. Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
And TikTok. What's the TikTok
we
one?
are on TikTok. Just go to TikTok and type in Top Turnbuckle Podcast, and you will find us. Yeah.
It's probably less embarrassing to be on Grindr.
I feel like we should get a Grindr account now.
I think we should.
I feel like you should get a Grindr
I would
account.
happily set up a Top Turnbuckle Podcast Grindr.
Johnny Large Me from Top Turnbuckle Podcast.
Oh, would yeah. Just a picture of me in the t-shirt that you can buy for £18 on the
Yes,
website.
they are still available, people.
Easy Way merchandise.
Go and check them out. Good segue there.
When I was looking at myself.
Very
yes.
good. He's been practicing, hasn't he?
I haven't. I just boop.
Yeah, go check out Easy Way merchandise. Go and get yourself a Top Turnbuckle Podcast t-shirt for a mere
£18.
18 quid.
God, you could wear that wherever you wanted to go. Out for dinner.
Can have your name printed on it as well.
Want to go to the beach and wear it.
Go to your nan's
Imagine
funeral.
if you went out in that for
Don't go to your
dinner.
nan. No, yeah, don't do that.
You could wear it wherever you like. To the park.
Sorry, I'd already been thinking before the nan's funeral.
I wore mine to the park the other day.
Did you?
You
I
weren't
did.
wearing anything else, though, were you?
Nothing else.
Nothing
just
else,
that T-shirt.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the presents that I got you from holiday?
Yes.
You can do, yes. Would you like to tell everyone where you went to on holiday?
Not really.
No? Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Well, thanks for that, James.
That's all right.
He went to a place where there was sea and sand.
Yep.
Smiles all around.
And torrential weather and rain.
Did you go on a donkey?
No.
Did they have a donkey still on the beach?
They had horses and a horse and carriage.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
But I didn't see any donkeys. I don't know if they still do the donkeys.
I don't know.
Not sure. The horses go all the way up and down, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been on one though.
No, I hadn't.
There's no way in hell.
I have got a funny story
Ever.
if you want a tangent.
Yeah, okay. Like we've never done a tangent before.
So I went to fucking Yarmouth, right? I've already said it now. I might as well say it.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Great
Yeah.
Yarmouth.
Great Yarmouth.
A not so great Yarmouth.
And
Not as bad as Western Supermare.
And I went there, right? And you could get on something called a land train. Have you heard of these?
No.
Right, so it's a little motorised fucking train. Yeah.
Right.
And it takes you from the holiday camp that I was at
Yeah.
to like the Golden Mile. So the Golden Mile's
right.
like where the fucking all the arcades and all
Right,
that
right.
brilliant stuff and all that.
I thought somehow you'd gone from Yarmouth to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is sort of like a B-Tech Vegas. So
Fucking beat.
it is. So my dad wouldn't be very happy. He's took B-Techs.
Apologies to anyone that has got one. We're not mocking it. One of us might be.
I'm not. Right. But anyway, yeah, so the big thing around the area was you can get to Yarmouth on this fucking land train, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I got into Yarmouth and I thought, it's a bit of a walk back, so I'll get the land train back.
Yeah.
What they failed to tell you was that they were all fucking colour-coded, right?
Okay.
In which way each land train went. So I got on this fucking red one, right? And it took me down to the fucking pleasure beach about a mile.
Miles away.
I know, right down the fucking bottom, right?
It's good
walked
to know I'm
it,
not,
it's a long
it's good
way.
to
Yeah,
know
and
that
I-
I'm not the only one
yeah, and
shit with trains.
You know when you fucking sit there and think, something's gone wrong here? Like that. And I sat there and I walked to Blunt. I went, all right, mate. I went, are you going to the holiday camp? And I went to him. He
Yeah.
went, oh, no, mate. He went, that's the white one. He said, that's the one further up the road. And I said, so I've just gone a mile down the road in the opposite direction. You're not even going back.
Did you have to pay?
No, he actually let me off, and
Oh, fair play.
I had to fucking go all the way back to the first station that I was at, and then I had the arsehole because I'd done it, so I just fucking walked back.
Did you have to walk back from where he stopped, or did he take you back?
He took me back to the
Okay.
first place I
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
Right. Fair play.
which was like the middle of Yarmouth.
yeah.
He
How
took
far
me
was-
down to the bottom of Yarmouth.
How far was the holiday camp?
I would say a good mile and a half,
Fuck.
maybe more. Put it this way, at one point, like, I'd seen so much of the beach, I thought I was nearly in fucking France when I was walking.
It's not as bad as something you said earlier.
No, I'm not getting on to
Yeah, we're not going to.
That beach is weird though as well. It doesn't have like grass.
Yes, awesome.
What?
It's got like
Growing out-
dunes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, for anyone who hasn't played it, because I'm quite a big video games fan, tell you what it reminds me of Hitman. Like there's a fucking mission on Hitman. If it's Hitman 2, and it starts off and you're on like these this beach with all this grass dunes you can hide in. Just reminds
Yeah,
me
it
of
is
that.
number 2. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like, Johnny.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So while James was on holiday, he brought us some rather nice gifts.
Oh, the gifts.
We do so many tangents, we've forgotten what we were actually
Get
talking
over it.
about.
Let's face it, that's what people love. But they love our tangents. And this is important because it's about giving presents, which is
Yes.
lovely.
It's like Christmas come early.
Yeah. So we both got a wonderful stick of Great Yarmouth Rock.
I can't wait to tuck
let's-
into that.
Let's not fuck about here. Rock's awesome.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, just a quick tangent about that, right? that shop that I got that from, you can actually watch the motherfuckers make it, and
Awesome.
I watched them make that rock.
I love that shop. It's been there for years. That
Yeah,
shop.
have you seen that? Yeah.
It's right in the middle of the high street, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I also got, now this goes back to mine and James's trip to Wembley for AEW's All In. I have to sleep with a basically it's like an eye mask because I am such a heavy sleeper. When I like roll over, I don't really roll over like a normal person. I just kind of drag my face across the pillow, and I keep turning my right eyelid. It's always the right one. I keep turning my right eyelid inside out, and every time I wake up the next morning, it looks like I've been punched in the face. So, got myself an eye mask, and I haven't had the problem since. James very kindly brought me, there we go, just displaying it for everyone here.
We can put a picture of it on the Facebook page
We will.
as well.
It's where you can all like it and comment on it.
So, James got me a very nice glow-in-the-dark one, because having...
Glow in the dark.
It is, yeah, because
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of it, Johnny.
I have had the problem before where the one that I've actually got is just black, and when I'm trying to root around for it when it's on the floor, I can't find it. However, now all I've got to look for is the luminous letters of the words "fuck off."
Yeah. But it says it all, you know,
Yeah.
because
I'm asleep.
Yeah, you're
Fuck
asleep.
off.
Fuck off. Yeah. I thought it's really not a really thoughtful.
I don't think I'm going to be able to wear it in front of my 7-year-old son.
No, I don't.
Unless I put it up some foo cudge.
No, you need to sort of hide it and then.
Put the other eye mask over the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love it. Genuinely, I love that. That's awesome.
I would, if I had to wear one, I would like really appreciate that. To me, the sentiments there, like I'm asleep, fuck off.
And in all fairness, it has been known that I've been compared to a bear that's been woken mid-hibernation with a poking stick.
Yes, that's kind of warning people, like
fuck
you know,
off. I'm a
fuck off
bastard
or-
when I'm rudely awakened.
fuck off, or you'll get the repercussions. I think it's quite kind.
I think it's sending a good message.
So do
I
I.
think you need to get a picture of yourself wearing that.
I will.
And the Hulk Hogan boots.
Fuck yourself. Actually, Johnny, what does that say?
Tickles.
No.
Is that the name of the shop? Tickles.
Yes.
Wow.
It says fuck off, and that's the answer
does,
you're
yeah.
going to get to wearing that.
Tickles.
And unfortunately, I realise I've left the price tag on it.
Is that all I'm worth?
The rock was quite expensive. It was homemade.
I'm not
like,
surprised,
rock.
man.
That's a beefy one, isn't it? That'd do some damage.
It's got some girth on
You
it.
could beat someone to death with that and eat the evidence. And they'd never know.
It wasn't about the money with that little with your presence. It was about how awesome they come across.
It is. I genuinely, hand on heart.
You would have never
do
guessed that.
No, not
No.
at all. I'd have
You
said
want to talk about yours, Johnny?
I can't talk about mine if you
yes. Now, there's a reason I went first, because I can't wait to hear Johnny's description of what James got him.
Well, first off, I got a big, firm, girthy stick of rock as well.
Yeah, and that is half the reason why you got the present that you got, because of your
fascination with cock.
And I would try and read what it says on here, but I don't know what language that's actually in. It
I
looks like
imagine
French.
Dutch.
Yeah, it
I
could
imagine
be.
Dutch.
Yeah. But it is a toothbrush. Very nice toothbrush. And this actually comes in handy because I got rid of my toothbrush today and I needed a new one.
Good.
So you read me mind.
Yeah.
But this is no normal toothbrush. It was made in China, by the way.
For the Dutch population.
Yeah, Germany. It says about Germany. on the back as
Germany,
well.
yeah, Germany would like
What
that.
it is, it has some bristles on the end.
It's a toothbrush.
It's a toothbrush. He got me a toothbrush. It's nice bristles. And the handle is a massive giant penis. And it's very detailed. Like, that is very detailed.
It is. It's extremely well made.
That's a proper veiny helmet there.
Well, I am a bit worried because it has got a sharp bit on the corner. You know, and,
I thought you were going to say shaft.
It has got a shaft.
I know. That's what I thought he was. Because that's what he was. Johnny is actually like examining it with his fingers.
Like, I don't know what way.
What I'd also like to point out is before we actually started recording when we first met up, Johnny actually whipped out his phallic shaped toothbrush and hung it out of his trousers.
I did.
Yep.
It's very.
It's good to know we're all mature grown-ups here, isn't it?
And he's a member of the Scouts.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what way I should.
If ever you go camping, Johnny, I think you should take that with
Please.
you.
Oh my God.
I'll pass it round. And like,
Sir, I forgot me toothbrush. Here, use mine, little
Like-
Jimmy.
it actually tastes like penis as well when you brush your teeth.
I wouldn't know.
No. But yeah, I wouldn't know what to brush my teeth with.
I can't wait to hear what your missus has got to say when she sees you brushing your teeth, and then probably says, "I'm not kissing you after
No,
you've had that."
I don't actually know. I don't actually know if that's novelty or it is a genuine toothbrush.
Well, it is going to be genuine because I'm going to use it on a
Okay.
daily basis twice a day.
Do you know what you need
it's
to
always
do?
good to
Well,
brush
I'm
your
not
teeth
sure
twice.
if the Dental Association actually
I'm going to go to the dentist with this toothbrush and say, "Is
ask
this?"
if it's certified.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you need to do as
Have I
well
been
is,
certified?
is get a little stand,
Yes.
right? Two round bits on the bottom.
Yeah.
I would say we'd post a picture of that.
No, let's do it. Yeah,
But I'm not sure if whoever posts it will get a warning strike.
I think it'll
That's
be
fine.
alright.
I think
I'm going
it'll
to do a
be fine,
video of myself actually brushing my teeth.
Okay.
With the Colgate pouring out of my mouth. Oh.
What you need also is like the whole, the full Monty.
Yes. I keep rubbing it. I don't know why.
Puts
I'm putting it
your
away.
penis toothbrush away.
Would you like to
Stop
have a go
playing
at
with it. No, I don't want to go with it.
It also reminds me of when Johnny went to Holland or Amsterdam and he went to the Sex Museum.
They didn't have any of these there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Listen,
I wanted to
Mark,
find the most obscure thing that's like random, and a toothbrush is quite an essential item, and I think it's quite handy.
Well, I mentioned beforehand to you guys when me and the other half went to Reykjavik, and there was the penis museum that we found. Didn't go in. I wanted to. Genuinely, I wanted to, because we were like, how much history can there be behind, a penis?
What I need to do now,
Loads.
I need to get a whole set. I need to
Don't
get.
get that on the History Channel.
You actually fucking do if you watch Mary Beard. The Romans, you want to watch Mary Beard, she's the greatest fucking person. All she does is talk about, she has to get cocks and shagging in every single episode.
We're like 20 minutes in here. We haven't even got to the wrestling yet.
So yeah, I want to get the whole set of this. I want to try and get a fanny. I want to get some titties.
Oh my God.
In what
Toothbrush
context?
form.
You want a selection of toothbrushes?
fanny
When he
toothbrush.
gets bored, he's going to snip the end of that off.
You'll need to, if he needs the whole set, you'll need an arse.
He's going to cut the end of that off and stick it on a kendo, isn't
Yeah.
I'm going to get the whole set. So I've
he?
got to collect them all.
They call me Big Ken.
I don't know if they've got that.
No, I'm gonna
collection,
find
Johnny,
them.
I don't know.
Shall we get on with the episode finally?
Yep.
Yeah.
And as we said at the beginning, it was James's pick, and he has picked a nice 80s episode. And we are going to be discussing our top 3 1988 moments in
Yes.
and out of wrestling.
Indeed we are. So,
Seeing as it's James's pick,
do you want to dive in?
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, so my first pick is going to be a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm going to go with the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Savage.
To the top. Snap it to a Slim Jim.
Savage was on fucking fire in 88.
yeah, it was.
Absolute fire. And if you look back, he was really the person that took the mantle from Hogan, even though Hogan refused to job up to anyone. Because when Hogan left to go, it was to go and do movies, but it was becoming a bit stale.
Were they really movies though?
Suburban Commando, absolute classic.
I don't know if it was. That's No Holds Barred.
It was
I
no
think,
old
wasn't it?
barred, yeah.
And
Zeus.
yeah, Savage was the guy who took the mantle on. He did a hell of a job. He held the title for a year.
Absolutely ran with it.
And unfortunately, this might just be me. And I'm not usually like a massive hater of Hogan. Hogan was too much over the whole thing. Like, it's involved in everything. Like the Mega Powers was a good story leading up to coming into '89 and things like that, and the the Mega Powers exploded and all that. But Randy Savage was on a tear.
Yeah.
He was by far and away, in my opinion, the best wrestler of 1988. So I'm going to bring him up.
Yeah.
And he does go to WrestleMania 4 in the tournament. He wrestles 4 matches. Very, very good matches, really. And, he goes on and wins the title. And he's the first person, apart from Hogan, to hold the title at a WrestleMania.
Fair play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hogan can't even, as you've spoke about before, he's still in the picture, and really it should have been Savage and Elizabeth's.
Yeah. I said before it was Savage and Elizabeth Bowman, and he just put himself in there to steal the limelight, which is, I'm sorry. I don't like Hogan. I think he's a dick.
Even if that's a promoter's decision to try and give like the rub of Hulk Hogan and the onto Randy Savage.
I've given it the seal of approval. Well,
yeah.
fuck off, mate. You pissed off for a year.
He didn't really need it.
No,
I think
shouldn't have been allowed. Sorry. But
I think from WrestleMania 3, when he has the match with Steamboat, even though we're going 87 here, as you move on throughout 1988, he's gathering massive traction.
Yeah.
And he holds the title well. That's it. It's as simple as that. Savage, for me, was the best wrestler of 1988.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to talk about Savage in 1988, feel free. But he was the best, in my opinion. He was.
I've got nothing to add to it because I think you're absolutely spot on.
And I'm being what I just want to say is I'm being very careful with what I say, because one of my other picks is going to involve one of his opponents.
Yeah. No,
so I'm being very careful, and I'll get to... Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. Good pick. Yeah. Did he go on to have... He had a few matches with Andre as well around the time, didn't he? I think
he had one at Saturday night's main event. I don't know if it was a title match.
No, I don't think it was.
It might have been, though. It might have been.
Yeah, I can't remember. Who else did he really feud with then? He
at the start of the year, he feuded with the Honky Tonk Man.
That's right. Yeah.
And you had the whole situation over the Intercontinental title. They had some really entertaining matches. You had Peggy Sue, who was Sensational Sherry, involved, and Savage was just on a tear. He was just. You know when you see a wrestler and you go, like, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Like, he was in ring, he was absolutely brilliant. Everyone was resonating with him with the promos. Elizabeth, everyone loved Elizabeth. He was just he was the perfect all-round package at the time to be the top guy.
Yeah.
There's a great match. I was actually going to pick it as one of my picks. It's Randy Savage and Strikeforce, Rick Martel and Tito Santana versus the Hart Foundation and the Honky Tonk Man. Cage match.
Yep.
And I always remember this match being a great match. I haven't seen it for many years, so it might not hold up to today, but I always remember that being great. And that was probably, I don't know if he was champion. I think he might have been champion around then.
I mean, his first championship reign is starting at WrestleMania and ending at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it's 88 to 89.
Right.
Yeah.
April 88 to April 89, the first title reign.
The Savage thing, because he was feuding with Honky Tonk Man, that must have been before WrestleMania, I think, that match.
It was at a main event.
Yeah. But yeah.
That was one of the main things that he was doing before the tournament. But it isn't just about the matches he was having. It's the whole presentation. You've got to remember, you're going back to 1988, and it isn't so much
the golden
Dave Meltzer's 5-star rated matches. It's someone who's standing out and's got the whole package, and Savage has just got it.
Yeah.
In 88.
It's not even, I mean, the work ethic he was putting in around that time as well was just...
Yeah, it was on another level.
Fucking amazing.
It's on another level. I think they always liked him in the WWF, but I think that match at WrestleMania 3, this is where the ball starts rolling. We're going to turn him eventually face, and he's going to be the man who...
Proper snowball effect, isn't it?
Yeah, replaces Hogan when he goes off.
Yeah. Great pick.
That's all I've got to say about it.
Your dog's trying to eat my sock.
I do apologise.
What
She
is
does really like you.
What is it about you and trying to
She
either
likes
eat
you.
my shorts or now you get out of it?
Eat my shorts.
Whose turn is it next?
Go for it, Johnny.
Me? Okay, right. So I'm going to head away from the WWF.
Ooh.
And as always, I've got a few interesting facts I can throw in, which I will do. So my first pick, we head to the land of the rising sun. On December the 16th, to be precise. And movies such as Beetlejuice, Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Naked Gun were hitting the cinema.
I love those films. All of them.
And
Sorry.
that's all right. And Luton Town were beating Arsenal in the Little Woods Cup final at Wembley.
They were
3-2.
Was it 3-2? I thought it was 2-1.
3-2. The prestigious All Japan Pro Wrestling World's Strongest Tag Team Determination League Tournament final was taking place.
That's not what I thought you were going to go with, funnily. Do you know, I thought you was going to go with 1988 if you were going to Japan. I thought you were going to go with Ricky Shosen and Antonio Inoki.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. No,
Sorry. Sorry.
That's all right. No, I know the one you mean. Yeah, I do know the one we're in. But I went for a tag team final match. It featured Stan Hansen and Terry Gordy taking on, and I hope I pronounced these names right.
Because he has been practicing.
Yes, I have been. Janakiro Tenryu and Tashaki Kawada.
Who?
Well, Tenryu, you should know, because Tenryu
Yes.
used to be put in Rumbles a lot.
Yeah. And he
In
took part in
WWF.
WrestleMania 7, I think, as well, in the tag match with Demolition.
He might have been. He was one of the hired guns that come in to take Lex
Yes.
Luger out at WrestleMania
That's
10.
right.
He'd made a lot of appearances before that,
He did.
in the but mainly in Royal Rumbles.
Yes. So this is a fun, classic tag team match. The crowd was absolutely red hot for this. Almost everything in this match was like spot on perfect. Each wrestler had a part to play and they pulled it off incredibly well. It was a classic story with the foreigner heels, Hansen and Gordy, working over the local heroes. They would take like full advantage of them, of Kawasada's inexperience. They would take turns on beating him up. It was like a classic underdog story of him coming back and trying to fight him off again, but just getting beaten down every time. The man of the match for me, though, had to be Stan Hansen. He showed why he had that aura as such as terrifying monster heel. His body language, he hit moves like so stiffly that it looked like he was actually going to hurt his opponents.
He did.
Yeah, and they just
There was rumours, I don't know if you've heard about it, that especially for the lariat, which was really stiff apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently he was registered blind and he couldn't actually see
fuck?
properly.
Yeah, I heard
Have you
something
heard
like
that
that.
rumour?
Yeah. Yeah, his facial expressions sold him as this just uncaged, like angry Texan who was just out of control. Match ends when Hansen pulls Tenryu to his feet, chops him like 4 or 5 times before hitting the lariat. Hansen then he hits him so hard it looked like he's going to take his head off.
Yes.
It come out of nowhere, and like the force behind it all, and Hansen picked up the win. It's a great tag team match. If anyone has never seen it before,
I
haven't.
definitely.
I
worth
haven't
checking
seen
out.
it.
No.
Stan Hansen is synonymous with Japan.
Yeah, he had his run obviously with WCW for a little while, I think, as well.
It's just Japan, really.
Yeah.
That's where he was making so much money over there. He never had to come to America, apparently.
He had a match with Hogan, I think, a few years later over in Japan as well, where Hogan obviously done a whole completely different style. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Great tag team
You mean
match.
he didn't finish the match with the death-defying leg drop?
He did not. He had
no.
a different finisher.
Holy shit.
What he would do is he would throw.
Actually wrestle.
Yep. He actually, funnily enough, it's true.
I
that,
think
yep.
you've shown me that clip.
Yes. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the move's called. But what it is he throws someone into the ropes, he runs the opposite way, and he does like a lariat style elbow and smashes
okay.
into him.
Yeah, that's right.
That's his finisher over in Japan, and I can't remember what it's called.
I think he even gets busted open in that match.
Probably.
Stan Hansen, yeah. I remember them fighting on the floor, maybe into the crowd as well.
Mm.
So there we go.
Right. My first pick comes from November 21st, 1988. And it is the acquisition of Jim Crockett Promotions by Ted Turner.
Okay, I ain't got much to say about this. I've got this as well.
Yeah.
I just think that this is again a history-making moment. Really,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
something that
Whether
goes.
it's the only reason I picked this is I was trying to pick out like a proper historical moment.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, it is a historical moment in professional wrestling.
It is, because it's not so much that the NWA turns into WCW. It's the power of Ted Turner.
Yeah.
Because once Ted Turner gets involved, then what we see, we've got to remember it's 1988, and we have to look at it from a business point of view.
Yeah.
Takes Ted Turner a while to find his feet in the company. He's said that he loves wrestling. But as we head into like 1992, we're starting to see bigger names come across from WWF.
Yeah.
Even if WWF were done with them. Like Jake Roberts is a good example.
Yeah.
And then eventually we get the one that changes it, whether
the
we
big
like
ones.
it or not,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Out of curiosity, do you know how much you paid for it?
I don't.
I did read something about it the other day, but I can't remember.
I do.
Go on.
$9 million.
It's more than I thought he paid.
$9 million.
It's more than I thought he paid.
Which you got to think from, in 1988.
I think he was ripped off.
Yeah.
Because the NWA were not in or JCP were not in a good financial position.
No, they were
at this point.
At the point they were on. They were at this point. They were on the verge of bankruptcy and
they were
unable to pay their roster.
They were, because they were venturing too far out and running too many shows.
Mileage. Yeah.
Big shows, which they couldn't really do.
No.
And there's been multiple times where Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, I've heard say, if we'd have just run the Carolinas and stayed around those sort of areas, we would have stayed in business and we would have been really big. We should have stayed in our little zone.
Yeah.
Shame, right?
Well, you move on to WCW and really Ted Turner putting his money right behind the company, and that's when WWF starts to really feel the impact.
Oh no, sorry, I mean
financially.
it's just a shame that was the way things were going for him.
Oh, what?
Jim Crockett.
Jim Crockett, right. So this is a strange thing, because history is really hard on this part within wrestling. Jim Crockett Promotions and the NWA, I think it's about 86, maybe 85. Crockett becomes the chairman of the NWA.
Yes.
Right? And then suddenly he merges Jim Crockett Promotions with the NWA. And these two are like, it's very hard to, when you watch matches, suddenly say this is an NWA match, it's Jim Crockett match.
Yeah.
The two kind of mould into one.
Yeah.
For a little while.
Yeah.
I know they don't, but to a fan.
I was going to say, to a certain extent for us fans, yes, they do, and it's easily noticeable. But if it's the average Joe just coming off the streets and watching it live, you'd be like, oh, okay.
See, I think it's hard to notice it, because it you've got JCP and then you've got the NWA, but you've got Jim Crockett running as the president.
Yeah.
The NWA.
Yeah.
So it's all quite strange.
All over the
all
place.
in-house. It's a weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's literally all I wanted to add.
Yeah.
I think it is a valid point that needed to be brought up for this. For 1988, it is a monumental moment in professional wrestling history for that
Very
era.
big story.
It's also quite. It's also sort of resonates with now, because you've had Endeavour take over WWE, and there hasn't really been that. We've known about it for a long time. We haven't really seen any changes yet, but we've seen recently they've had a meeting.
Yeah.
And they've got a new bell, and they've got, for this, what is the company that's involved on that green belt? Have you seen this?
Oh, TKO or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know what that's all about.
No, I wasn't sure.
I don't keep up with the wrestling sort of news that much.
In all honesty, I've kind of tried staying away from that because there's just so much shit that's coming through on a daily basis. So
I watched the merger and I noticed there was a belt, and I've seen that brand being talked about before, but I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it is.
Couldn't tell you.
No, I don't think. I think there's still some things.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
It's like a greeny kind of colour, the TKO written.
Yeah, I don't like lime green.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That's my one, my first one, and your second one.
Oh, so back to me
Back
again.
to you again,
Back
mate.
to me. Right. I don't know how well this pick's going to go down, but I've gone for WCW Starrcade 1988. True Grit. NWA World Heavyweight Champion, the Nature Boy Ric Flair versus Lex Luger.
I'll let you talk about it.
Now, I don't like Lex Luger, right?
Which is neither do I. Which is why I was
Yes.
really surprised you picked it.
Like mentioned in previous episodes, he's very overrated. He was just he's not great.
He's beige.
Yeah, maybe slightly.
No,
lower
he's
than
beige.
Yeah, okay. But I don't know. This Lex Luger. It was
Look at
like
him. He's itching to say something there, isn't he? He's itching.
I think I'll shock you with what I say as well.
Right, well, I'm going to start. An interesting fact for you.
Mm-hmm.
The same day Starrcade 1988 happened, cult sci-fi classic BBC's Red Dwarf debuted on TV.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I'm sure our American listeners are mega into
Well, actually, Red Dwarf went to America.
It did.
Did it?
They had their
Yeah.
own series.
And who was the only original cast member put in it?
Chris Barry, I don't know.
Nope.
Was he?
Craig Charles,
No.
No, was it? It was.
Crichton, David, what's his name?
Robert Llewellyn.
That's it.
Have you actually watched any of them?
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, the first episode is almost like exactly the same.
It is.
as-
It's a complete
yeah.
rip-off.
Yeah.
I watched, going on a tangent about that sort of thing. Has anyone seen the Indian version of Only Fools and Horses?
No.
They've got an American version and they've got an Indian version as well. And it's so weird.
You've seen the American version of The In-Betweeners.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh.
That's
yeah,
terrible.
I saw
But
Right.
these
Red
are
Dwarf,
more
the American
strange.
version is worse than that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was better than that.
No.
No, their humour
out.
is
Yeah,
very
that's a while.
slapstick weird.
Yeah.
And it's not my type of... Personally, it's not my type of humour, the American sitcoms.
No.
Each to their own, but it's not for me.
No.
And it doesn't transmit well when they try and take British humour
They just don't work.
and culturally put it with American humour.
With one exception, I will state, the American version of The Office is fucking awesome.
I've never watched it because I like the English version.
I love the originals, but the American Office is awesome.
I've heard it's good.
I heard it got better. When I first watched it, I couldn't get used to it.
Oh, mate.
I just couldn't because...
You need to get past... I mean, I love it from start to finish, and I've watched it so many fucking times.
Yeah. To me, it's Ricky Gervais.
Yeah,
The Office.
that's-
Oh, well,
It's-
he pops up in it.
Really?
Does he?
Yeah, as Davy Brent.
That's pretty cool, actually.
So you got Michael Scott and Davy Brent in a lift together, and it's just fucking bizarre.
I will watch it at some point. I've been saying for years I'm going to watch it, but every time I come to it, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can.
It's so worth it.
Yeah.
It is so worth it.
I will watch it at some point.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, yes.
Tangents.
Tangent. Right. So Lex Luger, he had been chasing Ric Flair since being kicked out of the Four Horsemen a year earlier. Oh, doggy agrees. At the time, it made you feel like Lex Luger was this legit main eventer. The way he was being presented and carried. Or,
That's just the thing. He was carried.
yeah, or Ric
Literally.
Flair was so good that he managed to trick everyone into believing that Lex Luger was great here. It was one of them. Probably more like the Ric Flair.
I'd say
side.
well, Ric Flair. Yeah.
Yeah. Lex is in control of the match. It's a back and forth encounter. Lex hits a power slam, sets up for the torture rack, but his knee buckles out after Flair had been working on it. Flair grabs the pin with his feet on the ropes at 31 minutes. It's got a great story to it. There's great storytelling throughout the match. Great work from both men. Perfect finish for what they were going for. I felt like Lex Luger could have won the match, but for whatever reason they went the way they did. Probably Lex Luger's best match ever.
Best and only.
Yes.
So, when I said I would shock you about this, the 1988 to maybe 89 version of Lex Luger is pretty good.
Yeah.
In terms of how it's done, he's got a lot of people around him who are making him look good.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. He's got like a lot of the horsemen around him, and I don't think necessarily they get on with Lex or they think much of Lex at the time.
Yeah.
But he's working with they're making him look a lot better than he is.
Yeah, like I said, it made you feel like this was Lex's. He was like a legit main eventer. Ric Flair was so good that he tricked everyone.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
The only other Lex which was maybe more on fire than this one was the 96-97 Lex when he was going against the NWO.
Yeah.
There was a small period when Sting was out of commission where Lex was seen as the main guy.
Yeah.
And Lex used to get huge ovations.
He actually won the title on Nitro, I think.
He did.
On the 100th episode, I think.
He was one of the only people to actually beat Hogan and take the title off him.
Even though he lost it like 3 days later.
Yep.
I can't believe that somebody would bring that up in a contract clause.
But the thing is, I can't remember actually many people taking the belt off of Hogan.
Jonny Red.
During that period
of course.
When he first becomes NWO, wins it off the Giant, who takes it off of him?
Danhausen.
Is it just Luger?
I think it is
up until
just
Sting.
Luger, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Giant doesn't win it, does he?
I don't know. That's the one I'm more concerned about. He wins it off the Giant.
He
wins at Hogwild, 96.
Yeah, because Giant had defeated Ric Flair for the title on Nitro.
Yep.
Then Hogan had defeated the Giant.
Hogwild.
96, yeah.
Yeah.
Hogwild.
I thought you said Hogwarts. I'm like, what? Have I just drifted off something? Like, hey, have we got from fucking Harry Potter?
You want to be careful in the trivia. They might come up then sort of questions.
But then, Luger won the title, I'd say, August 97.
I would say you're about right.
And then, I think
it was again at Hogwild where he lost. It was the Sturgis event.
It was, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they changed it to Road Wild, I think, that year. But it might still be in Hogwild, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the same type of thing. It was a bike.
I'm sorry, I can't get that.
It was a bikers event.
I don't know if they even charge people to come watch that show.
No, it's an American place called Sturgis.
Yeah. Everyone had motorbikes, jackets.
Yes, it's kind of strange for us.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing.
But yeah,
I mean, we do have motorbike enthusiasts here, but being funny, these guys didn't even seem like they were interested in the wrestling. Did they to you?
No, it was just different.
I think Eric Bischoff liked motorbikes and just wanted to be cool.
That's the thing I liked about WCW around that time, though. They tried different things. Like Bash at the Beach was on a beach. And
I'm glad you pointed that out because I hadn't guessed that.
Yes. 1995 was, wasn't it? 95 was. I don't know if any of the others were they? Because that didn't really work. They tried to tell everyone there was about 200,000 people watching. Do you remember the old beach fucking?
There weren't that many people on the beach, I don't think.
But they said that it was like the whole beach was watching. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then embarrassingly for them, this is WCW all over. They did a bird's eye view shot and it showed like a little fucking smidgen round circle around the ring.
I wonder if they got charged to go in. If they had to pay for tickets.
That's on the fucking beach, isn't it? I can't say you.
But that all ties in with the Baywatch episode, which I will be bringing up on a future episode.
This is Ric Flair and Vader at the
Because I think Pamela Anderson are involved in the Bash of the Beach pay-per-view. Well, yeah, we're getting off. Where were we?
Your pig.
Was it my pick? How did we get on?
Lex Luger and
Luger and Flair.
Right, is it back to me again? Right, okay.
Why have you finished that one?
No, I got one more. Yeah, that one. The Lex Luger one's finished.
All right, it's my go then. Right, mine.
I feel like I've been chatting about that for like half hour.
Mine's a match from AWA Superclash 3. However, I know this is meant to be our best, top 3 moments. I've picked this because it's fucking horrendous.
Well, just to throw something in here, for our best and worst part of the episode for part 2, I've picked for my worst the whole pay-per-view.
Right.
So I don't know if you want to do your bit and then I'll add mine on.
Yeah,
and I've got enough. I'll tell you what, it was pretty close on mine as well.
I'll go through this quickly and then
do yours
when it comes to the best or worst.
I'll throw my few cents in.
It features the AWA World Heavyweight Champion Jerry the King Lawler versus WCWA Heavyweight Champion, the Modern Day Warrior, Kerry Von Erich, also known as the Texas Tornado. This was a unification match. Right. The first thing that I wrote down for this, and I knew I was onto absolute fucking comedy gold here, was Kerry Von Erich's promo before the match. Now, don't get me wrong, I liked his stuff as a Texas Tornado, but my God, this is quite possibly one of the shittest promos I have ever seen. I don't know if he was nervous or something.
I think he was under the influence a lot of this time.
I was going to get to that as well. Yeah, because he was the whole way through. He was going, fucking hell. And the only words he actually said was, there's only one Mona Lisa, and there's only one Leaning Tower of Pisa. And the interviewer just kind of went, well, yeah, thank you. Anyway, there's only one of me. Oh dear. My fucking God.
Kerry Von Erich and the Von Erichs, I think they were in the USWA, weren't they? WCW. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. World Class Championship.
So for it's Von Erich's territory.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were mega stars.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Kerry, the women loved him and everything.
I've got that in here.
Yeah, so, but when we're getting to this point in 1988, this is a point where things are not going well.
No.
This is like Texas Tornado is a shadow of what Kerry Von Erich was.
Yeah.
Like when Kerry Von Erich versus Flair was happening and stuff like that within the, what was it, WCCW? I can't remember them all.
Yeah,
that was
WC World Class
World
Championship.
Class.
Yeah.
So World Class was the Von Erich.
That's right, yeah.
Yep.
So, funny enough, you mentioned it earlier, it was like a big hit with the ladies. I mean, when Lawler came to the ring, or just before he came to the ring, Bill Apter from Pro Wrestling Illustrated awarded Jerry Lawler with a plaque as he was voted Inspirational Wrestler of the Year due to his work with different territories during 1988, which fair play for that. And when Lawler did come to the ring, he was always going into this as a heel, just purely for that area. And not Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich came to the ring, and I swear to God, you'd have thought like One Direction had got back together, or some like legend, big successful boy band had just walked into the arena, because honestly, I'd say about 60% of that crowd were screaming women. They were just like, oh mate, they were losing their shit.
I think I'm going to save what I've got to say about the whole thing for if someone's picked it later.
Yeah.
Because I think there's reasons for all of this, what we're talking about.
Now, this was billed as a no DQ unification title match. It starts off quite well. The grapples, takedowns, a bit of showboating from both of them. It was going really well, and I will applaud their efforts for that. Fair play to them. And then it just got stupid. Now, as I stated, this was a no DQ match. Now, halfway through this match, Jerry Lawler pulls out a pair of what I can assume was, because you never really get a good clean shot of it, a pair of brass knucks from inside his tights, and twats Von Erich an absolute good one and busts him open. Then hides them from the ref back in his tights. Now, I'm sorry, but if this is a no DQ match...
Do we want to talk about this now? Because there's a reason why all this is going on.
I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
I have every intention of bringing it back down there.
We're going to have to do the best and the worst if we do that, because it's a big reason.
Yeah. I'll finish off my pick.
Yeah.
And then...
We'll keep the worst, because I've got loads to add to the worst of it.
Keep that bit at the end. Anyway, later on, the brass knucks get used again. And, Von Erich's bleeding. Not profusely. We're not talking ECW, But there's a bit of claret going around. And then we get... this is my favourite part of it. So... Is it the end of Rocky 3 where Apollo and Rocky square up in the ring just to have a friendly little spar at the end of it?
Apollo and
Yeah, and there's that freeze frame shot of them both going to it. We have that in this match.
Yeah, Eye of the Tiger.
Oh yeah, no, I mean they go for it, they lamp each other, they both fall flat down. And at that point, I'm like, oh, this is just comedy gold. This is fucking awesome because it was so bad. And then, not long after that, we have Von Erich latching onto Jerry Lawler with the Iron Claw. He's got him. Lawler's out. He's got him. And then up pops someone from the sidelines. Call a DQ. Von Erich's unable to continue, even though he's clearly on the top. He's got the pin. Got the submission. That match is over. But this guy jumps up and says, due to Von Erich's injury, this match can no longer continue. Yeah. And Von Erich is pissed. Picks up both the titles and fucks off.
It's a really, again, I hate to say, it's a really hard pick not to put into context why.
Yeah. Which we will get to.
Do you get that, Johnny?
Yeah.
It's a really hard thing to talk about, so I almost know someone's going to pick it on their worst, and that's where the whole story will come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know any interesting fact before the match as well? What happened? Kerry Von Erich was in the locker room messing about with a blade.
Yeah.
And he sliced his own bicep open.
Yeah, because they worked that into the match.
Yeah.
Yes.
On a turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
It's like, watching Goldberg.
Yeah.
20 years in advance.
The problem was all I'll say is there were a lot of egos in that dressing room who were not all on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm leaving that one there because I'm sure at some point we may end up talking about it again.
Yeah.
On part 2.
Yes.
Right. Who's next? Is it back to me again?
I think
I've got one pick left.
I've got one left, James.
Because I started, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I can move on with Randy Savage.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about some of Randy Savage's best rivalries. And that's by talking about the $1 Million Man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a price.
Ted DiBiase at this point in Ted DiBiase at this point in 1988 is also on fire.
Yeah.
And I actually think is hugely underrated. You've still got Andre involved at this point and Hogan, but I kind of feel sorry for Savage and DiBiase in 1988 because they didn't need them. I think that the Hogan and Andre story ends well at the main event.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about, because that was 1988, and that was the highest grossing TV audience.
It was, millions, wasn't it?
Yeah, millions to watch the rematch between Hogan and Andre the Giant, which Andre the Giant wins because the $1 Million Man has paid off the referee, the twin referees.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great storyline. It's probably
Dave
better.
No, isn't it?
Yeah. it's probably better than the WrestleMania 3 build-up, in all honesty. For the cheesiness of the 1988 period, but it's really awesome.
Yeah, for its time, very clever.
Yep. But Savage really comes into his own. And then you've got DiBiase. Now, I spoke to you guys about DiBiase was in Mid-South a lot. I think he had before gone to WWF and they tried him out as a face and it hadn't worked.
Yeah, he was there for a little while. And I think he was also in Japan for
I think
a bit as
he
well.
went into a little feud and he was there for a very short amount of time. He had a feud with One Man Gang.
Right.
Yeah.
As a face. And it didn't work out. And then they come up with a gimmick, which was originally supposed to be for Vince. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I have heard
when
that.
Vince wanted to do that gimmick like a Buddy Rogers but with loads of money character, but his dad never let him do it.
Yeah.
And eventually he gave it to Ted DiBiase.
That's right.
And this character, if you go back and look, this character is one of the only ones at the time that comes in and goes straight to the top as a heel. Like, legitimately, just the whole money thing, the greed is good. You got the Wall Street film out, type of...
You got the yuppie culture.
Yeah, all that culture going on. And Ted DiBiase, with that $1 million gimmick, it just fits the time and it's great.
Yeah.
And some of the rivalries, like I was talking about Randy Savage being on fire, it's a real shame because there are a lot of tag team things going on.
Yeah.
Like the $1 Million Man and Andre the Giant versus the Mega Powers and things like that. I would have liked to have seen Ted DiBiase and Randy Savage actually in a feud, because they did have certain matches. I don't know if you've ever seen the cage match.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of just then.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're stunning. The matches that they were having on certain hidden gems on house shows and things like that they were having. They were knocking it out of the park in terms of entertainment of wrestling.
Yeah, we were. Absolutely.
And it's such a shame because, as I say, the $1 Million Man character was very unlucky not to get the title.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you could have really run with that at the time. It fit the context of like the culture.
Yeah.
America, greed is good, as we just said. All of that type of thing. And he was really hated by everyone. There wasn't a nicety about DiBiase at all, was there?
No, not at all. Nothing. Yeah.
And it just worked great. He was good in the ring.
Yeah, great worker.
Yeah,
Great
absolutely.
worker.
Promos, interviews.
Who's the sort of person that I imagine you wanted in your fucking locker room.
Yeah.
Because he could work with a fucking broomstick.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, I just think Randy Savage and DiBiase were both right up there in 1988 for me as the two main characters. But at the same time, I think it's sad that we never got them really unleashed.
They could have had a great feud. Yeah.
Yeah.
1-on-1.
Instead of having Hogan and Beefcake and...
The same regurgitated shite.
and I mean, Zeus comes into the picture later down the line with a Hogan thing. And the $1 Million Man moves out of the picture and back in.
Right,
and I just would have loved to have seen DiBiase and Savage have that feud after WrestleMania 4. Wherever it went, fine. But give them the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know?
Even if it was just a short feud, it would have been great. Just anything, yeah.
We'll go on to an event later, which is my best moment, and then we can talk about it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely. Lovely. Back to me. Right. My last pick. It was a short time before SummerSlam 1988. The real Ghostbusters cartoon had just started airing on TV.
Awesome.
The world was also celebrating National Willy Fogg Day. Something to do with the last episode of the cartoon that was being shown. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Willy Fogg? Like around the world, wasn't it?
Days around the world to find a boat to go.
It was a fucking book, that's why.
What was he?
He was a lion who went round the world on a hot air balloon, and it was actually Phineas Fogg.
Phineas Fogg, I see it. But over in the World Wrestling Federation...
How pissed off was he then? Fucking hell, James.
Cool.
I wasn't pissed off, I was like...
Only a car.
Not pissed off.
You know my thing about history. You know what I am.
I wouldn't have had a clue, mate.
Oh, Willie Fogg, all right.
Willie fucking Fogg.
Willie Fogg. Sounds like a
He
porn
took
name,
his
didn't
fucking.
it?
He took his whole fucking family up there with him on the cartoon, didn't he? And they were all different species of fucking animals.
Yeah, like a top hat, didn't he? And a cane.
That's
and,
right.
Yeah, oh, Willie
I'm
Fogg.
sure he liked another. I'm sure he liked another species of animal as a woman, like a fox.
I think you might have been right, actually.
Yeah, I think there was.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a bit of stuff that was a fox?
Yeah.
What other animals were there in this?
Fuck knows.
Really?
But they weren't all the same species, as I remember.
No, I'm sure there was a mouse as well. I need to look this up, right?
Oh, this space is going to be
Willie
cut out, clearly.
Fogg. There's a...
You'll need to put in Willie Fogg and not Phineas Fogg,
It's-
otherwise it will bring up loads
What
of
is it? There's
shit.
a tiger, an elephant.
Yep.
Is that a bear?
Yeah, she's a fox.
See, how do
I didn't mean that in like...
how do I retain this shit information?
I'll say me, mate.
Like, how on earth have I remembered she's a fucking...
Indian
Well, she's
fox.
either a panther or a... Yeah, but he meets her and she's like exotic. And she's like from fucking...
I don't know.
Should we carry on?
We need to watch
You
it.
bring it up, Johnny.
Fucking hell,
It's
Johnny.
fucking... Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, that's enough of Willie Fogg for one day.
Yeah.
I've got to try and edit that.
We'll leave him back in 1988. Right, so on to the World Wrestling Federation. During an episode of Superstars of Wrestling...
Willie Fogg appeared.
Yes.
With his exotic girlfriend.
Fox.
Yes.
And challenged Elizabeth and Randy
The
Savage.
Fog Patrol. When you're fog for life.
Fucking hell.
I'll edit that as well.
No, that's got that. When you fog for life. That needs to go on a t-shirt
think-
as well.
I think if you'd have pitched that to Vince, I think Vince would have probably
Fog
done
for
that.
life.
No, Fogg and his exotic girlfriend versus
God.
Elizabeth and fucking Randy Savage, don't you?
Are we keeping all this in?
No.
Shame.
Right, where was I? So, onto the World Wrestling Federation. During an episode of Superstars of Wrestling, Brutus the Barber Beefcake had just defeated a local jobber when all of a sudden the outlaw Ron Bass hit the ring and attacked Beefcake.
Dun dun dun.
The outlaw choked out old Beefy with his bull rope, and he had like this sharp claw thing on the end of it. He was cutting his head open with it. Now, I remember for Christmas, I got the VHS of this, of SummerSlam, and it was rated a 15, and I think this was the reason why. Even though I remember watching it, and I didn't really know a lot of what was going on at the time, but I remember seeing this big red cross
Yeah,
going through the
censored.
TV. Yeah,
It was a bit more pink, actually, than
yeah, I
red.
think it was, yeah.
But
And,
what it was actually was a spur.
yeah,
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
That's right.
I think he took off a shoe and used a spur on the top of his
that's
head.
it, yeah. He had a name for it as well. I think it was called Bart. I'm pretty sure it was. There was two of them. One was called Bart, and there was another one. Just an interesting fact I throw that out.
That was a very dark segment for WWF at the time.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know why. I don't know why Brutus was taken out. To be honest with you, I do know maybe the reason, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't actually know the reason why.
the only reason I can think of is because they wanted to push the individual who they put in.
Possibly, yeah. But yeah, it was like you said, it was for the time it was brutal for that era. Like it's only recently I've actually seen the uncensored version of it, And it's not all that bad, to be honest.
I watched it about an hour and a half.
Did you really?
Yeah, it looks wank.
Yeah, it's not.
Compared to like now, it looks fucking terrible.
But when I watched it, I was like probably 10 years old or something.
But yeah.
And I remember I was just shocked by what was going on.
At the time.
The whole way WWF used to do the producing back then made it as if it was a real big deal, a scandal and terrible. And they never did anything with Ron Bass off it. You would have thought they'd have liked to have got some real mega heat off it, but they never did.
They had one match and Beefcake just cut his hair in 2 minutes. And that was the end of it. There was nothing else. Yeah.
Because you're going to give someone a push like that to do something, that controversial for its time. Surely, to the general public, that means, holy shit, this guy's gonna...
This guy's out of control, he's fucking crazy,
Yeah.
I hate him.
Fuck.
Yeah, and
But
has a sense of fear, all that sort of thing, and really they didn't do anything with it.
Fuck all with it.
I think they were on opposite teams at the Survivor Series, and that went nowhere, and then I think he was released shortly after. So it was just a waste of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my pick. I enjoyed the angle. I thought it was very good and scared me. I'm still a bit scared by it now.
It's all right, Johnny.
It's very short, wasn't it? It was mainly over the whole SummerSlam ordeal.
Yeah. There we go.
So.
Is that all our picks?
Oh, no.
No.
It comes down to my final one. Now, as I explained to you guys beforehand, I was clutching at straws with this one because while I was researching what was going on in the world of professional wrestling in 1988, there was one name that I was specifically looking for, and I found nothing. Absolutely nothing for this person. Okay. So, typed in the guy's name, put 1988, bang. That's what he's doing. So, for my final one.
Okay.
Now, this goes on a US release date, which comes under 1988. However, this didn't actually get released in the UK until 1989.
Oh, right.
So, again, clutching at straws. But frankly, go fuck yourself. It's my pick. Sorry. Fucking get over it.
It was released in 88, wasn't it?
Yeah. In the US, it was released on November 4th. 1988.
And it was most likely filmed in 88. So.
Absolutely it was. And I am simply just going to open this up by doing one of the greatest ad-libs in cinema history. Spoken by a wrestling legend. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. My pick is Rowdy Roddy Piper starring in the legendary John Carpenter film They Live. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this, and if you haven't seen it, fucking shame on you, I'll give you a quick rundown of the film. Roddy Piper plays a character called Nada, a down-on-his-luck construction worker. He discovers a pair of special sunglasses. Whilst wearing them, he is able to see the world as it really is. People being bombarded by media and government with messages like stay asleep, no imagination, submit to authority. Even scarier is that he is able to see that some usually normal looking people are in fact ugly blue and red aliens in charge of a massive campaign to keep humans subdued. Now, I love this film, and as I discussed on our first episode with James, I love Roddy Piper. He will always be in my top 3 best wrestlers of all time. And I literally just wanted to read out this last quick quote. And it's John Carpenter talking about Roddy Piper and why he cast him for this film. Unlike most Hollywood actors, Roddy has life written all over him. He has been hit so many times that he is really broken up. He even walks funny because his pelvis was shattered and his back was wrenched. He is definitely not a pretty boy. He's the toughest guy I've ever met. You run a truck into Roddy Piper and he would still be standing.
Yeah, because Piper retired at WrestleMania 3, didn't he?
Yes, Adonis, yeah.
Yeah. And literally he did nothing during 1988 bar that film.
He didn't do anything during 1989 either.
Nope.
Because He comes back at WrestleMania 5. He comes back at WrestleMania 5 and he does that really weird thing with that Morton Downey Jr.
Yes, in the ring, yeah. He
Yeah.
shoots him with the...
Yeah, and that guy
Fire
looks
extinguisher.
actually like he's legitimately pissed and wants to actually fight him up the fucking hallway.
yeah.
I know we're going off a tangent, but that's I can't remember Roddy Piper in wrestling at that time.
He wasn't.
No.
I've done a lot
Yeah.
of deep diving about this. He didn't do anything in ring during the entire of 1988, but he cemented himself in Hollywood history with this film,
Yeah.
and he's brilliant in it, and has also got one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah, the Keith David fight scene is
I
amazing.
think it's like 7 or 8 minutes long.
A bit longer than that, isn't it?
No, it's about 7 or 8 minutes
It
long
is.
in total. Yeah, but I read out as well that Piper choreographed the whole thing with Keith David.
It's laughably bad. I
Oh,
mean,
it is.
It's
It
not. To be fair, it's so bad. It's good. It's not.
But it's Piper.
Yeah.
It's Piper doing.
Have you seen it? Like where there's one
Yes,
point where
yeah.
like they're having a fight and he gets up and he goes, "You dirty motherfucker!"
yeah.
Like things like this.
Yeah, it's great. It is absolutely great, and the fact that he ad-libbed that, I came here to do 2 things. That's awesome. It is such. And I've said it before. Like it's one of the most badass quotes ever for films, and I love this film so much. Love Roddy Piper, and I love John Carpenter. I know it was clutching at straws with the release date, and it's not actually to do with wrestling.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
the
got a
main
wrestler in
one, the wrestling.
it. But frankly, fuck you.
Yeah, it's
This is
alright.
my pick.
It's all right.
Didn't actually pick it for the movie episode we done a while back either.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I deliberately stayed away from it for that one.
Yeah.
How many did I have?
3.
Yeah,
That's
all
it.
of them. Yeah.
We are done with our top 3s.
We are indeed.
We had some listener feedback for this section.
Ooh, listeners.
Yeah, we had a few comments from this one. There's a couple I'm not going to read out on this occasion because it's worse than one of our tangents, to be honest. We went into film history of 1988.
Yep.
So, firstly, to start with, we have Leopold Botshimo, who simply said, "I like Randy Savage." Next up, Dan Reed. As for wrestling in 1988, first thing wrestling-wise that comes to mind for me in 1988 is the Tag Team Survivor Series match.
That's a really good point because that match and that specific video are really resonate with the time. With, like the Big Boss Man and Akeem video with that Survivor Series. And that Survivor Series match is crazy. Yeah. There's more going on the outside of the ring than there is on the inside.
I remember me and him, I actually had a sleepover at Dan Reed's house one night and we watched this together. We stayed up all night watching the whole pay-per-view.
Good boy.
Yeah. And
that tag team match, there are so many people around the ring, they actually form together.
Yeah, this was the second time, because it happened at the first Survivor Series as well, but this one's more remembered. I always remember the bit with Demolition and Powers of Pain.
Yeah.
And Mr. Fuji turns on, I think, Demolition and joins Powers of Pain.
Yeah, because that leads into WrestleMania 5.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Bobby Shepherd. I remember studying the VHS of Survivor Series 88 in Woolworths.
Yeah.
Probably whilst helping myself to the pick and mix. Seeing some of these guys team up felt like a huge deal at the time, and it felt like every name on there was a star at the time. Yeah. Yes, even Jumping Jim Brunzell.
And we just mentioned that tape is really synonymous. I think that must be one of, especially early on, that must be one of the best sellers, or at least one that they mass produced the most.
Possibly, yeah.
Because that was everywhere.
I'll go back to Dan Reed again quickly. I've had a conversation with him many times over the years where if you look at the old artwork on VHSs, they're so memorable. You can they're like
They are.
full on and everything. Compared to like later on, like now DVDs nowadays or over the last 10 years, they're all the same. They're just like nothing.
They're all crap. Yeah,
But like
they're
just
not crappy CGI.
All the wrestling ones were.
Yeah.
Like when I go back and remember, like, because I had the big catalogue of my VHSs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I lost them recently. But every one had a different theme on it.
Yeah.
Even the WrestleMania ones, they used to have that purple lightning around.
That's it, yeah.
But they always had that picture in the middle that it just explains immediately
What
that
was.
WrestleMania was all about.
Yeah, like just looking at that Survivor Series pay-per-view, the cover's like bright yellow. You got your teams on the front who's then...
Because you got Savage in his attire with Hogan, then you got Akeem and the Boss Man. And yeah, it's a massively famous video.
Lastly, we have Ollie Burns. I was born that year. That's got to be a wrestling highlight, surely. Now, I'm assuming that Ollie wrestles under the name of Priscilla, as he's put Priscilla EST 1988. Pretty impressive when you consider I'm clearly not a day over 21. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Lovely comments as always. Don't forget to get involved. Don't be scared. Don't be frightened. Type those comments and words of wisdom.
As I've said many times before, we love listener feedback. We love the comments. We love it when you get involved. Don't stop. Keep them coming.
We ain't going to hurt you.
We'd like to see Niang come back.
No. Next. Let's nip that one in the bud straight away.
Or that guy, Jonny. That guy from, I think he was like Sri Lanka or Pakistan. That guy who tagged you. We blocked him, but we shouldn't have blocked him, really.
Just the one with his wang out?
Yeah.
Right. Next.
We get all sorts.
I told you I'm going to do a thing on this. I'm going to do a segment on this. I'm just waiting for someone to post something.
Right, what are we up to now?
Watch along.
Watch along. Who wants to introduce this?
Watch along. Watch along.
Right, so this match for me, and I'm just going to get my whole thing out of the way straight away. So I haven't really got much to say about this. In my opinion, this is one of the worst and strange matches that never gets talked about. No one ever mentions this in the list of worst things or matches to happen in WWF. And it is the Goldust Ultimate Warrior match from In Your House 7. And I think, for me, it's in my top 5 of the worst matches ever.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research behind it.
Yep.
Goldust was actually injured, so he couldn't compete in the match. But they still advertised it and still went along with it.
But they could have come up with something better than
it's not
that.
Like they haven't canned things right at the last minute before.
But the thing is, this waste of time took 8 minutes, which seemed like it took half an hour.
I felt it went on for as long as the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels Iron Man match. I didn't know what was going on. I was watching it and it wasn't even entertaining. It was confusing, strange, and there was nothing in it at all that made any sense whatsoever. There was no payoff. There was no story going in. There was nothing.
I got a couple of bullet points for it that I just wrote down. The bodyguard was Mantar, which I think I previously mentioned. Goldust was actually injured. Warrior puffed on Marley in a cigar a few times around the ring.
Yep.
Quite a few times, actually.
Yeah. The Warrior sat on the director's chair. The Warrior wore the robe and wig, I think.
Yep.
Goldust threatened to kiss everyone in the audience.
And threatened to... well, not threatened, and insinuated, which is so out of touch now, with a limp hand that the Warrior was a homosexual.
Yes. Warrior put the cigar out on Goldust's hand. Goldust ran away.
I have one sentence I wrote about this, and I watched it for the third and final time last night while I was in bed. I've watched this 3 times and still don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
I'm done.
But my interesting thing on it all is, you know, when everyone talks about the worst matches or the worst things, that is never brought up, and I don't understand why.
I believe
because it's not about the innuendos and stuff of Goldust. It's just about the whole scenario. It's so strange. It's almost disturbing. Does anyone get that?
Yeah.
The whole thing. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
I truly believe that this should not be held in the class of worst matches. This match is a fucking abomination.
It's not really a match, is it? It's just a weird set of events, isn't it?
This shit is an abomination.
This was
pointless.
I think there's a body slam and a shoulder tackle.
Fucking ridiculous.
Mantar, bodyguard. Yeah, I think that's it.
I think he does something to Goldust. I think he does run and shoulder barge him.
So this was May 96. This was just after WrestleMania 12. So Warrior had just come back. He'd come back previous the month before.
This was the pay-per-view with the excellent match between Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
I love that match.
It's one of the best matches. That's an underrated.
That is great.
Hidden gem.
But it never went anywhere. There was no follow-up with the bodyguards. It was... What could you say?
Who gives a shit? It's fucking terrible.
That's why I picked it. Because... It's
You're
one of those
dick.
But the reason I picked it's just because nobody ever mentions it as something
I
shit
hadn't until you told me about it.
Yeah, like, you know, where everyone knows about shit moments in wrestling. That one's just been lost. Like, no one talks about it.
I think it's probably because they were trying to, whitewash it from their mind.
It's just weird that no one talks about it being one of the worst things like WWF ever done.
It's awful.
It's embarrassing.
It's beyond awful.
Terrible.
Fucking hell. Anyway.
Like, after watching it, can you think of anything that they've done that's worse than that?
No, that's what I mean. I don't hold that as a worst match. It's an absolute abomination. Because, like you said, Johnny, it's not really a match. It's just it's a shitstorm of crap happenings.
They've also got no creativity together or in the
They've got no chemistry at all.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, oh.
No, it's dreadful. Absolutely fucking dreadful.
I don't get it.
Bollocks. I'm done with that.
Yeah, that was it. So did we have any comments on that?
We had a couple.
I'm surprised people remember it. That's why I picked it. So I thought that everyone forgot about it.
We had to start with, and I laughed when I realised why he was laughing at this. So, Don James McSherry Jr. Hello, Don. Simply to start with, I'll hold it up, a hysterical laughing gif.
Yeah, but it's awful. There's nothing more you can say.
Well, and that's what I thought. So I typed back, tagging him in it. Don, let us know your honest thoughts, mate. We read all of our comments out. And he put simply, Stu, this paste on faces has got me rolling.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, yeah, thanks anyway, Don. And Bobby Shepherd has just simply put, I can't imagine this was a 5-star banger. And Johnny put straight afterwards, -5 stars more like.
I think that's being fucking generous, isn't it?
There ends our watch along comment.
There we go.
We encourage anyone who hasn't had like the privilege of seeing this to actually watch it just to experience the weirdness of it.
Yeah, please do. And also, I'm going to apologise in advance for any random cases of serious Tourette's that you might hear throughout the rest of this recording. I'm a massive rugby fan, and Scotland are currently on the TV as I'm a massive Scotland fan, and it's a do or die game, and this is not going well already. Fuck, we're 5 points down, or less than a minute. Oh, fuck it.
I was laughing at that. I was laughing at the hello thing from earlier.
Yeah, so I've got the rugby on in the background.
Sorry.
So yes, I apologise for that. I will try and keep doing this to the best of my capability.
But yeah, if anybody else has a watch along that you'd like us to watch, and that you want to watch as well, and get everyone else to watch, and we could all watch along together.
If you have one, Leopold, we'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Yes, we would.
Right then, boys and girls, what have we got next?
Well, we have our song of flash funk in the style of Pavarotti, or we have trivia. Mm-hmm. Take your pick.
What would you like, James? Or it's putting on the spot now,
the
isn't it?
Flash Funk song would be the best.
All right. I don't know how this is going to come out. All right. I will try. I'm not going to go over the top because there is people here and I don't want to scare them.
Yeah, you just do it like normal sound. I think everyone got a little bit scared from the Mika one with the high pitch in the other room.
That was brutal.
That will be coming on the...
As much as it's great and wonderful,
It is, but it is brutal.
the problem is we do have other people in the area.
Who can't contain themselves
But feel free...
to this excellence.
When Top Turnbuckle Podcast, the album, comes out, you can play as loud as you like.
That still in the pipeline?
It's still coming.
Still
I'm hoping by
coming.
Christmas.
Ooh.
So make sure you add that on your Christmas lists and Santa will give you a special gift.
Ooh.
Oh.
Good.
Right, so anyone want to mention who Flash Funk is?
Who picked this one? Was it you? Yeah. I'll let you explain Flash Funk.
Flash Funk is basically Too Cold Scorpio in a pimp-like outfit with two women. It's very similar to, do you remember the Funkadactyls?
Yeah.
It's very similar to that.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to stand up to do this, I think.
And what I mean by that is Flash.
Don't go too far away from the mic.
Flash come down, didn't he, Johnny? You can help with this. And he said, it's Too Cold Scorpio, first of all, so everyone knows who he is, right? But he comes down and he's dressed as a pimp, which is never mentioned, but he is, right? And he's got two ladies with him, similar to the Funkadactyls, dancing around. That is Flash Funk in a nutshell. Otherwise, it's just Too Cold Scorpio.
Yeah, I like Too Cold Scorpio.
Yeah, I did.
Right, so yeah, this is Flash Funk in the style of Pavarotti. Okay, I don't know how this is going to come out.
Magnificent.
We'll see about that. Okay.
It's going to be a sonnet, Johnny. An absolute
Oh,
sonnet.
Flash, you...
Have we started?
Oh, we are so funky.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Johnny Oki.
Flash, ooh, Flash, Flash, you bad. The way you love your ladies make 'em all feel fine. Oh, Flash, get bad, you got other ladies waiting. And I'm standing first in line. Flash, it's time to get your rhyme around. Flash, I'll show you how to funk it down. Funk it down.
Beautiful, Johnny. It reminded me of Les Miserables.
Flash funk, come on. Funk, now boogie. Flash, come on, funk, now boogie. Flash, you got the moves that make me breathe when you're walking that way. Flash, you know, just be looking my way.
I didn't know I said that many
Just
fucking
let
words.
us show you how to funk it down.
That's one of my new
Here we go.
favourites.
Let us show you how to funk it down. Funk it down.
Fucking Italian nighty now.
I've got caught up in the spirit of it then, I'm sorry.
Fuck knows what my neighbours think. We've got a window open.
Mate.
It didn't turn out too bad, I thought.
I thought it was one of your better efforts, I'll be honest with you.
5-star.
Consider I haven't practiced that at all.
Eat your heart out, Dave Meltzer.
Jeez, my throat, cool.
Yeah.
Now I know how Pavarotti feel. Oh, dear.
Magnificent.
Magnificent. Oh, but there will be another one of those coming in the part 2, which I am dreading. I'm absolutely dreading.
I can't say you weren't dreading Pavarotti, to be honest.
But, yeah, so that leaves us only one thing to do, doesn't it? Trivia. Top Turnbuckle Trivia.
You can say it, Johnny.
Trivia.
It's not a secret, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You can do the intro this time if you want.
Oh.
You fucking pitched it already, mate. You know, you might as well do it.
I didn't even realise.
The microphone's still on you, Burke.
I didn't even realise.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're not fucking doing that again. Pavarotti one.
It's good that we're professional, know what we're doing.
Oh, dear. Top Turnbuckle. I can't even say it now.
What?
I'm caught up with Pavarotti. Oh, I've been possessed.
Do you want me to feed you the line?
You can do.
And now it's time for Top Turnbuckle Trivia.
Now it's time for Top Turnbuckle Trivia.
Part 3.
Was it part 4? It's part 4, isn't it? I
Fuck it,
think.
well,
Right.
we just fucked that
It
intro up
is.
already, isn't
It
it?
is round 3.
Round 3.
Because we haven't got parts, because this is a continuation.
Yeah. It's time for round 3 of Top Turnbuckle Trivia.
It's actually a game. I've never known. I don't even know what you've got to do. But,
It's like Trivial Pursuit or something.
I've no idea. There's instructions in there. There's a pencil, and you've got to
Fuck it.
circle certain things. I don't know. Right. So how did we do this? We did 3 questions each, wasn't it?
3 questions each, yeah.
Right. So they haven't been touched since the last time we shuffled them.
Love it when you say that.
So pick your card, any card, but not that one.
That's my one.
Pick your card, but not any card. That one. And I will pick that one. I'm not looking. Right.
So is it going to be same as last time? James read to Johnny, Johnny read to me read to James.
I can read to Johnny, yeah.
Yeah,
I could start.
Just doing the full circle then, won't we?
Yeah.
Right.
So, for the listeners at home, this is the section where we decide to test each other's trivia with this wonderful old school WWF trivia game, where each round is worth 2 points, and if there's a multiple choice answer, if you go for the multiple choice, you go down to 1 point if you get it correct. Are we all clear on the rules, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yes.
Then let's fucking get it on.
Right.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Okay, Johnny. Where did the 1995 May edition of In Your House take place? There is multiple choice.
I feel like I know.
I don't. I wouldn't have a fucking clue.
I feel like I know it. I don't know if I want to. Is there is an option? There is a
Yes, multiple choice.
choice. I've got this name in my head. I'm going to have to go for multiple choice. I feel you have to tell me so I can. I know what it is. I know it.
Is it Louisville, Saginaw, or Syracuse?
Syracuse.
That is correct.
I knew it was that.
That's a point to Johnny.
1 point.
So Johnny now reads to me.
Right. At the 1994 Survivor Series, Bret Hart's opponent was... You have got a multiple choice if you want to.
I'll have multiple choice.
Owen Hart, Diesel, or Bob Backlund.
What event was this?
The 1994 Survivor Series.
Bob Backlund.
That is correct.
Correct.
It
Yes.
was the one where you had to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
So you get 2 points for that, don't you?
1 because I went for multiple choice.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm topping out.
Right.
Right. James's question. At the October 1995 In Your House, who wrestled twice in one night? There are multiple choice.
Yeah, I'd have to say multiple choice.
So, your multiple choice answers are Diesel, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels.
Go Razor Ramon. Go Razor Ramon.
Final answer.
Yeah.
Are we locking that in?
Yes.
I'm trying to build some tension. It's good, isn't it?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's in
It's
your
the
house.
Dean Douglas thing.
It is, yes.
Yeah. It just comes to me. That's what I had to think. Because it's the Shawn Michaels give up of the title.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you think we should get an egg? I've got an egg timer at home. We should like turn it over for a countdown between each question.
If you want.
Nah.
I'll just play the countdown theme tune. That'll do.
Yeah. Right. Who's next?
It's Jonny.
Me to you.
Reading, James reading to Jonny.
Ooh.
At WrestleMania 1, the national anthem was sung by...
Mean Gene Oakland.
Correct. I don't even need to look at that.
Was that a?
That's
was
2
multiple-
points.
That was 2 points.
Mm.
Right. My question
You
to
to me.
you. Okay. At the 1995 King of the Ring, the first match of the first round was Savio Vega versus Yokozuna, Mabel versus The Undertaker, or The Roadie versus Razor Ramon. I've just I've messed that up a little bit. Should we edit that one out? I'll do another question instead.
The answer.
I'm giving you the multiple
that's
choice.
a trick. That is actually a trick question. It is Savio Vega versus
I was going to say that as well.
Yokozuna. But the reason it's a trick question, it's a bit naughty, is they actually played on the pay-per-view IRS and Savio Vega in a qualifying match.
Okay, right.
Right, so we'll forget that one. I'll go to the next one. Who did Hulk Hogan eliminate to win the 1991 Royal Rumble? There is multiple choice if you'd like to go down that route. Okay. Mr. Perfect, Sergeant Slaughter, or Earthquake?
It's actually hard.
Mr. Perfect.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Earthquake.
It is Earthquake.
Now, I struggled then because I was thinking...
Perfect was the year before. Perfect was
Yes.
went over the year before. He was in the final 2
Right.
of 1990 and Hogan won it twice. It's an actual nasty question.
That is, that was a bit tricky, that
That's
one.
all right. Right.
I wish I had those fucking ones.
James's question. At the 1994 Third Series, otherwise known as Survivor Series, the first eliminated from the Clowns Royals match was...
Oh my god.
There are multiple choice.
I know this.
What the fuck? I'm gonna go with Dink. I'm just gonna have a go.
Yeah, going for it?
Yeah.
No.
No. There's Dink, Wink, Pink, Cheesy,
Tell you what,
Wheezy.
the multiple choice answers are Jerry Lawler, Wink, or Doink.
I thought that Doink got eliminated.
It is. The answer's Doink.
It's either Doink or Jerry Lawler.
Yeah. Right, who's next?
James the Johnny.
At WrestleMania 7, the Ultimate Warrior Randy Savage match was
A career-threatening match.
Yeah.
Career-ending match.
a retirement match.
Retire match, yeah.
Now, would you have rather had that than Doink, Wink, Dink and Pink?
Was that a 1 or 2?
2-pointer.
2 pointer. Right.
You to me.
Me to you.
How many questions did we do to each other?
Oh, yeah,
Was it 3?
3.
Right,
And then
so
the
this
other
is the
one
last
round,
round.
and the opposite one way round on the part 2.
Okay. So, right. Okay. Right. Are you ready? Who did Greg the Hammer Valentine defeat for the Intercontinental Championship title in 1984?
I know that as well.
If there's multiple choice, I'll have them.
There is not.
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
Do you know it, Johnny?
Yeah.
No.
You
don't
don't.
know. Not a clue. Sorry.
Tito Santana.
But of course.
Good old Tito.
Your last question. At the 1990 SummerSlam, who was in Hulk Hogan's corner?
The Big Boss Man.
Locked in?
Yep, 100%.
Big Boss Man. There you go.
2 points for you.
At last, a normal question. Fucking hell.
So, is that the end?
That is.
Right. So, let me just add up the scores. Right.
Just for shits and giggles, who's holding the wooden spoon again in this round?
You got one, though.
I got one.
You got Bob
have.
Bevins.
I got half of what I got last time.
At least you didn't get doink, dink, wink, and fucking dink, mate. Jesus Christ.
Right. So, Stu, you have 3 points.
Thanks.
That's better than nothing.
Is it?
James, you have 11.
Yep.
And I have 15.
Oh, you've actually got 15.
I've actually
So,
got 15
right, okay.
this time, yes. Yeah. So, yeah. It's not a bad little game, this, is it?
It's alright.
So I will put those cards away in the magical bag, not to be used again.
Da, 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 da.
Where's your card? What have you done with your card?
Mine is over here.
And, yeah.
There we go. There ends another exciting round of Top Turnbuckle Trivia. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, here ends part 1. Stay tuned for part 2.